So for step 2 of your Vivid Rhythms in watercolor, you're going to take your existing painting and you're going to begin looking for interesting spaces, shapes, lines, things that should be there if you did your wet on wet correctly. And then you're going to add color on top of that and layer it to create these values and these contrasts. If you have salt on your work, you're going to want to brush that off first. So for example, I've already worked in this little space here where I found this interesting shape, and I went over the edges of it, darkened it with my green. I found some interesting shapes there for the blue. I did the same thing with that. And there's an interesting shape going on here with the red, and so I'm going to take my paint, I'm going to go over that to bring attention to it, give it some emphasis, because that's what we're still working with. I can add a little orange in there once it dries if I want to do that. And this is just creating more rhythm, creating more contrast and emphasis. And it's just looking through your work, finding what you have, and going into that, and then adding and layering that paint on there to create interesting attention grabbers. And you'll just do this throughout your composition. Decide what you see where do you want to use it as you're working. Now, you can do broken lines, you can make patterns, you can create actual interesting spaces and lines and things from what you see. So here's another example where, depending on what was there, you can come in and add your lines, add spaces. You can create different kinds of lines and things from what you're seeing as you make that up as you go. You can create things and add to that line. So let's say all I did was have this line that was darkened, and then I came over it and I added some more details to that. You can do that type of work as well. You can add actual spaces and shapes and things that are on that space that are not there. But start with focusing on what you do see first and adding to that, and then go from there as you build on it. And then you can create your other areas as it dries, because we want to darken areas and bring out contrast and things. Step 2.